views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll hear about the 100 Hispanic Women's 16th Annual Mind, Body, and Spirit Conference, an event bringing women together, offering panel discussions, workshops, massages, activities, and more. After that, we'll sit down with the director and cast members of the feature film, Anna Adore, to learn more about the sci-fi drama feature, along with the upcoming premiere screening taking place this month. And then we'll get the details behind the anticipated Neo Afro Diasporic Festival, a two-day event celebrating Afro-Latino and Caribbean culture. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, our Open Artist Spotlight features Dominican musical artist Aaron Jaquez, who will perform his latest single on our Open Artist stage. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Hello, welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So the 100 Hispanic Women National Inc. is holding its 16th Annual Mind, Body, and Spirit Conference, an all-day wellness event filled with panels, workshops, and self-care activities to help replenish the mind, body, and spirit. And joining us to tell us more about the conference, please welcome 100 Hispanic Women National Inc. President Nancy Genova and co-authors of the book Silent Agreements, Dr. Linda Anderson and Dr. Michelle Owens. Hello and welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
Of course, it's that time of the year again. Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to open up with just sharing with our audience what the Mind, Body, Spirit and Conference consists of, even though I gave them a general sense. Okay. And also why you chose to move it to October.
Okay. So the Mind, Body, Spirit Conference is a wellness conference where our members, it's responsive to our members' needs because they were into wellness conferences, but there were no representation when they attended of Latina women. And so they wanted women that looked like them, that could speak to them about their personal issues. And so the conference has guided meditations. We open with an intention for the day. We have yoga, meditation, makeovers, excellent speakers that are going to be talking about specific women's issues throughout the day. The conference is always very well attended, and it's a premier event for our members.
And let's not forget the massages.
Oh, and the massage
that was my
therapy.
favorite part.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, massages.
And so every year there's different panelists, and I just want to share with you guys, I have the distinct honor of moderating the panelists, and today we have two of the three authors of Silent Agreements. And so can you share a little bit about your interest in this year's Mind, Body, and Spirit?
Well, we will be offering workshops. We will be on the panel discussing silent agreements, which are our unspoken expectations that we carry and however that we hold others responsible for without ever talking about it.
So you're Linda?
I am.
I just want to make sure, and then that would make you Michelle.
That's
right?
me.
Or should I just say Doctor, just in case I don't mess it up? Okay, so Michelle,
Yeah, I think one of the things that is really important to us in imparting our knowledge and whatever wisdom we have about this is that we really want women to begin to think about the assumptions and the expectations that they carry in their lives and that others have of them, and that sometimes get in the way of their living their healthiest life and their best life, because they come with all of these various expectations from family, from work, from spouses, from children. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming when you try to fulfill expectations that you haven't even thought about whether or not they work for you.
And so, based on this month being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, what you're referencing may not reference that specifically, but it is a form of domestication based on your upbringing that we're discussing right now, right? So just going back to why Mind, Body, and Spirit was transferred to October when initially the conference was in May.
Right.
Does that play a role in that?
It does play a role, so we wanted to capture both things. The Hispanic Heritage Month, which ends on October 5th, but we also,
15th.
it's the, right,
Yeah.
October 15th, but we also wanted to bring awareness to domestic violence because it's something that many of our members have talked about, and this is just statistics for the entire nation. 1 in 4 women are victims and survivors of domestic violence. So that's important to know, and so those are themes that we touch on at this conference. This is why also will be the first collaboration between the coalition of 100 Black women with us, the 100 Hispanic women, especially because women are a target in this current administration, right? Where they want to eliminate reproductive rights, your elimination of affirmative action. So all of these things are themes that we are going to cross-reference at the conference.
And so, Dr. Anderson, see, I'm going to switch it up.
Okay. And I'm also a professor at Hostos,
Oh, that's right.
too.
That's right. You mentioned
Yes.
that. So thank you for your contributions to the Bronx as well.
Yes.
Yes. Just tapping a little bit more into silent agreements. I listened a little bit to the introduction to it, and I started listening to the audible version of it. And what I found very interesting about it's very deep, and obviously it took 3 psychologists to put this book together because it's a lot of processing, a lot of layers.
That's right.
And a lot to make sense of what you're sharing. And so if you would just share, I guess, a little bit more about what I'm referencing because you're the experts.
Well, embedded underneath this book is and has been a labor of love and high consciousness around our need. How do we improve our relationships? And when we say that, we don't just mean intimate relationships only. We're talking about our relationship with our health, relationship with family, relationships that have to do with, that involve commitment issues, issues around sex and sexuality, and the workplace, which is probably where we will be focusing somewhat with our health workers at this conference. So our labor of love is really about identifying our own individual silent agreements that we all bring. They're everywhere. They're scattered and cast around every context that we walk in. But we just want, it is so better to be empowered by being aware of what those silent agreements are in the room so that we can make better choices, so that we can be freer in choosing who we want to be in these contexts across work, play, love, all of it.
Right, which loans itself to happiness, right? Because Dr. Owens, right? Just to elaborate a little further, I understand that one of the motivations behind this is for people to kind of just come to terms with taking responsibility for what they're creating in their space.
Yeah, absolutely. Take responsibility, but also what we know about silent agreements is that they're often unconscious, that we walk with them and we don't realize they're there. One of the things we know about the conference is that many of these women are in the healthcare providing field, and there's a lot of giving and taking care of that goes on. And very often people in these fields, our field as well, come to it with some unspoken expectations and assumptions that we are givers, and that sometimes the giving becomes more important than taking care of ourselves.
So let's give an example of what that unspoken silence is.
Yeah, the unspoken silence may be absolutely that taking care of others is more important than taking care of myself. We wouldn't tell ourselves that out loud. We wouldn't think it consciously, but our behavior may manifest that. So on the job, it could be anything as big as not asking for a raise, because taking care of other people is more important than taking care of myself. Or it could be something as monumental as, not only do I have to take care of everybody at work, I have to take care of everybody at home. And it doesn't matter if I'm tired, and it doesn't matter if my doctor told me to take this test 3 months ago. I don't have the time, because taking care of others is more important than taking care of ourselves. And unless we're in touch with that as a silent agreement that we have with ourselves, we can really run ourselves into the ground. And we're hoping that through our workshops and our panel discussion that we can help people begin to discover what silent agreements are you carrying that are working against your best interests and your best health.
Beautiful. And that's just a taste of what the conference is about, because obviously we have a lot more to talk about, but we don't have the time. So before we go, do you want to share some of the other panelists and the books that you're carrying?
So we're going to have panelist Nancy Arroyo Ruffin, who wrote a book, Live on Purpose, and she will also be facilitating a workshop along with Lisa Brooks Grouse, Don't Abdicate Your Throne, the author of Do Not Abdicate Your Throne. So there'll be workshops and panel discussions from all these authors, and there'll be so much more.
So my last question is does somebody need to be a 100 Hispanic Women member in order to attend the conference?
They don't have to be a 100 Hispanic Women member. It's free to our members, and it's free to Bronx Care employees. But to all others, there's a nominal fee of $50, and they could just express their interest by emailing us at 100HispanicWomen@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I would
you
love
so
to reach
much.
out. I'm looking forward to reading the
Thank
book
you so
further.
much.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson,
Thank
Dr. Owens.
Thanks
I'm
for
looking
having
forward
us.
to seeing you next Wednesday. And you guys, once again, the 16th Annual Mind, Body, and Spirit Conference will take place on Wednesday, October 9th, and that's happening from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Glen Island Harbor, located in New Rochelle. For tickets, you can send an email to 100HispanicWomen@gmail.com. Once again, that's 100HispanicWomen@gmail.com. The Bronx Museum of the Arts held its grand opening for Henry Chalfant's Art versus Transit exhibition, showcasing photographs of graffiti writers, hip-hop artists, and much more. Kevin Alain has the story. Let's take a look.
Photographer Henry Chalfant is taking Bronxites on an express ride back in time. The Bronx Art Museum presents Henry Chalfant's Art vs. Transit 1977 to 1987 exhibit, an homage to New York City, its trains, and underground artists.
So this exhibition is Henry Chalfant's photographs documenting hundreds of graffiti writers, hip-hop artists, break dancers, and the beginning of all the expressions that the Bronx is now known for globally.
The exhibition began worldwide in Madrid, Spain, and found its way to the Bronx, New York, featuring artwork curator Suso33 describes as
that is only art for the people and made by the people.
The retrospective exhibition showcased life-size train cutouts and a station for guests to release their inner graffiti artists, transforming the Bronx Art Museum into a 1980s New York City train station, a nostalgia trip for Chalfant.
I get very emotional about it because I spent a lot of my years, doing this and working with this subject.
Kind of like nostalgic for you?
Yeah, it's nostalgic, sure.
If you're interested in tagging along for the ride, Chalfant's Art vs. Transit exhibit will remain in the station until March 8th, 2020. Reporting for BronxNet, Kibin Aline.
Thank you, Kibin Aline. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we'll hear about a new sci-fi drama film bringing attention to the mistreatment of women. Don't go anywhere.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Open, everyone. What happens when, well, artificial becomes real? Well, our next guest decided to create Anna Adore, a sci-fi drama film highlighting the mistreatment of women told through the life of an android and its owner. Let's take a peek of the film, Anna Adore. Joining us to tell us more about the film, please welcome writer and director Adam Gonzalez, along with lead actors of the film, Bianca Haley and Mark Rain. Hello and welcome.
Hey, how's it going? Morning.
Congratulations, Adam. I'm happy that we're having you on again. The work that you've been producing lately has been really hopeful for us Latinos and having a voice within the American fabric, right? This new adventure that you've chosen to take is really interesting, right? Because everything nowadays is Alexa, Alexa, move out the way, Alexa, we got Anna. I mean, it's not exactly the same context, but the point is that you cast all Latino, and this is a sci-fi film. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration behind that.
Yeah, so the movie, sci-fi drama, right? So it touches on like just how women are treated in all different facets. And in this case, Anna is an actual object, and it touches on how women are treated as such. And without being too like in your face about it, it also kind of just talks about like the technology behind it, and just kind of like the relationship between like a man and machine, but then also between man and women. The leads that we have over here, right? We have lead Latino actors. But then we also just have a great diverse supporting cast as well. So it's a nice mix of people, and just overall it's just a different way to kind of talk about something that's relevant.
So what I also love about your films, because we had you on not too long ago for the film In Vain, is that you always put women in the forefront.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that about you. I have a question for you, my dear. Sure. What was that like preparing to act as a droid? I mean, that's a challenging role.
Yeah, it was very challenging, but it was so much fun because she grows so much throughout the film. So she's not just an android, there's more to her. So it was just fun to explore that and just create a character out of her.
I know, and I get it. It's kind of poetic in a sense, right? Because she is an object, right? Or a machine per se, and treated like an object. And so the idea is, referencing how women could sometimes be treated as objects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And so Mark, you're the one with the love interest. Let's talk about your character and his issues.
Oh man, this was so exciting for me to be a part of this because the message of the film really resonates with me, and it was actually fun to kind of step into a space that I don't go. I'm not about, assaulting women or, this level of mistreatment. And so it was challenging, because I never had to kind of be this physical with an actress on set you know, for film, but, you know, I take every challenge as a new exciting opportunity.
All right, so your character had a breakup of some sort, right?
Yeah.
And so, is it safe to say that there's also some mental consciousness that is part of the message in this film?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touch on like distractions of like technology, and then just, you know, like how he deals with the breakup, but in kind of like today's world, and then he's presented an opportunity that would seem like a fix-all, but he kind of still goes about it the same way, and then repercussions happen.
Right, that's it. We can't give away the whole film.
Yeah.
You guys gotta go see it.
That's right. That's right.
I know, I'm like digging it, I'm extracting. I'm like, well, the thing about it is that it's very fascinating. The message within the film, but also the way you shot the film, because while you're saying the idea is to bring into light the distractions of the technology and electronics, you shot this on an iPhone.
Yes. So the entire movie was shot using an iPhone. I had other couple of like, you know, gear that goes along with it, but that in itself presented its opportunity and challenges. But it was something that I've kind of always wanted to do. It's something that I just kind of wanted to also prove that if you want to go make a movie, like you don't have to get like fancy cameras and all this stuff. Like as long as you have a great story and you just kind of learn the basics of like composition and lighting, and you get great actors and a good cast and crew, you can almost use anything to make a movie. So I almost didn't want to tell people that, but then I kind of felt like it was also important to start talking about it now. So.
Well, it's inspirational, and obviously for me anyway, it's clear that you're about the film. Yeah. You're about the storytelling, and I think it's important for people to understand that. Yeah. Just because you do have the equipment doesn't mean that you're necessarily into the storytelling. Exactly. Even though you have the fancy equipment too. That's interesting. I found that to be very interesting. And it's somewhat poetic if you think about it, right? Because you're talking about electronics, and yet you're using electronics to basically create this whole production. So very fascinating. So Bianca, there's something about your eyes. I can totally see why you cast her as such. Playing this character, was there something that you learned from it as a woman within today's society?
Definitely. I think also going into it, I wanted to be really authentic because I'm a woman growing up in my generation and in society now. I just wanted to do it justice, you know, but I did learn. I got angry at it a couple times because it's just like it's what's really happening, and like sometimes we don't realize like, wow, this is the world we live in. So I got angry a lot, you know, but I also was proud of it because I feel like we're representing women, you know. Well, I got the opportunity to represent women, and I just hope that a woman out there sees it and they just resonate with it and they feel inspired by it, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we ended on that note because it looks really, really interesting, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh,
and
thank
so
you.
if you could just share with everyone, because I know you're going to have your screening.
Yes,
Woo!
so Sunday, October 20th at 8 o'clock, we're going to have our screening premiere at the Pelham Picture House in Pelham, New York. So you can buy tickets online at the box office, and you can follow us at Gilded Harbor. You can get tickets there too. So
at Gilded Harbor.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations once again. And siguen pa'lante.
Yes, thank you.
Latino sci-fi ahora. That's right. You guys, the upcoming premiere once again and screening of Anna Adore will take place on October 20th at the Picture House Theater in Pelham, New York, starting at 8 p.m. For tickets, please visit gildedharbor.com. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a cultural festival taking place in the Bronx you don't want to miss.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. My name is Harvey Lauer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, Girls can be in a classroom, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. The Neo Afro Diasporic Festival is a multidisciplinary artistic project bringing the community together by celebrating Afro-Latino and Caribbean culture through performances and dance workshops. And joining us to tell us more about the two-day event, please welcome producer and artistic director of the Neo Afro Diasporic Festival and Paso Negro founder, Oxil Febos, and ambassador of Afro-Boricua culture, Jose Ortiz, a.k.a. Dr. Drum. Hello. Hi. Did you see the spirits with us? Yeah. Did you see that? I was like, hello. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome, ancestors.
That's right.
You are being honored.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really excited about the fact that you were able to bring this back to light. I know you had a nice run at Camaradas. Let's share with everyone because now it's been extended to a two-day event. Yes. And just the whole drumming aspect of it and making sure that our next generation remembers and understands where they come from. So, yeah, go for it, Oxy.
Yes, well, first of all, I want to appreciate the fact that we're here. You're giving us the opportunity of talking about the event one more time. And the last time, even though this is the original concept, it was adjusted to help Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic due to Hurricane Maria. So it was a bittersweet kind of thing, but still it was amazing, the support and the outcome. I appreciate it very much. And this year, hopefully, since nothing has happened, we're going to have an opportunity of creating a safe space where people can share new narratives and make different cultural connections and empower and uplift themselves with a universal language, which is music, and also acknowledging the fact that African legacy in Caribbean and Hispanic culture is very important to make even sense of our identity and our mission here in this country. So I'm very grateful to have that opportunity of collaborating during Hispanic Heritage Month with this event.
Beautiful. And of course, one of your collaborators here is Bombayo. And well, you know, Jose, or Dr. Drum, as we would call you. You're no stranger to our set. And I also just want to share with our viewers that you have a residency at the Andrew Friedman Home, and you do offer classes there for Bomba, and it's lovely to see you just partnering up for this event, and I also understand that you're going to be providing workshops as well.
Yeah, this aligns with our, with our mindset of decolonization into realization, and so this is part of that, how we are transforming through just understanding our identities, from Negro to colored people to today African American and Latina X, right? So we're still learning about who we are, and this is really the root of it, starting from that. So it's honored to be a part of this project.
It's lovely that they brought it to your home too, right? Nice and convenient.
Yeah.
because he
Yes.
only has like 100 drums. I mean, I have so much admiration for you.
Yes, he has a beautiful collection.
He does, and you know, it doesn't matter, rain or shine. If he's committed to something, he's out there walking with the carrito, with all the drums, you know. Of course, if it's walking distance, and we know you have a car too, but I'm just saying it's admirable. It's really admirable, your commitment
Yeah,
to
thank you.
making sure that the next generation has that opportunity to learn about their ancestors.
And how, us as a people, going through the oppression and the system the way it is, and how hard it is for us to have resources and available space. So this is how we utilize each other.
Right.
Right? And so empowering ourselves to what we can do for one another. This is big for us today.
Absolutely.
It really is.
It is.
No matter who's president, whether it's Obama or Trump, we still got to exist. We still got to move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's a matter of shifting the focus
right.
and making
Yeah.
sure that we elevate each other,
Right.
right? So, Oxid, walk us through the festival.
So yes, the first time in 2017, we had the opportunity of the blessing of having camaradas, and Orlando Plaza gave us that opportunity of doing it there. It was also 2 days. This time, I also had the blessing of being supported by the New York State Council of the Arts, and that support, those funds are also administered through the Bronx Council on the Arts. And Governor Cuomo, I have to mention all of this.
Well, it's
but there are
important
other,
because
yes,
you need to, I think our viewers need to also understand that it takes a village to make sure that we are producing this type of work.
Yes, and also part of that village, like you mentioned, is Andrew Freeman Home Arts and Cultural Center, which is where Dr. Drum does his beautiful cultural work. I have also the support of many artists that are coming in from California. We have Bodoma. That will be on Friday, the live musical performances. Bodoma, which is a group that plays Afro-Honduran music, Garifuna music. We have Afro-Peruvian music, and in collaboration with our Afro-Puerto Rican music, Bomba. So it's a beautiful ensemble.
Nice.
And we have DJ
That's on
Ellie.
Friday night?
Friday night.
That's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Is that going to be in the grass?
It's going to be in the ballroom.
It's going to be in the ballroom.
Yes.
You know how the weather is now, so we have to shift.
Right,
so,
right.
Yes. So we have a pop-up kitchen because the event starts at 8:30. So for those of you that are going straight from work, you're going to have an opportunity of eating delicious food, and DJ Ellie is going to be there. So it's a lot of things going on that will be going on Friday evening. There is a cover charge of $10 at the door. Also on Saturday, starting at 11 a.m., we have a dance workshop led by Ivelis Diaz. She's from Chicago. And in collaboration with Dr. Drum.
Dr. Drum.
Yes, we're going to have also a lecture demonstration on Afro-Peruvian music and how that connects with all the other cultural expressions of Caribbean music. And also we're going to end the activity with a bombazo. So yes, it's fun and drums.
I get excited. My hairs are standing. Let's just share with our viewers what a bombazo is.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, the outcome of a bombazo is medicine, it's healing. So here comes, where our community comes together through song, drum, and dance, but in a real way, where you get to express yourself and to bomba music. So it's going to be a wonderful time. You have to be there. It's not something that you want to watch on TV. You want to be there.
Yeah. You have to experience it because that's exactly what it is. It's an experience. And well, once again, thank you all for
Thank you.
not only providing this type of programming, but for bringing it to our viewers. And I hope you guys are really interested in this because the Neo Afro Diasporic Festival is taking place on October 11th, and that's starting at 8:30 p.m. and October 12th starting at 11 a.m. at the Andrew Freedman Home Arts and Cultural Center, which is located at 1125 Grand Concourse. And for tickets, you can visit Eventbrite/Neo Afro Diasporic Festival 2019. All right, so stay tuned because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
morning, baseball fans, and welcome to October. Yankee fans of the Bronx are ready to crush some Twinkies for breakfast, Rhina. And why not? The Pinstripers open their American League Division Series with Minnesota tonight at the big ballpark in the Bronx. Our cameras will be there tonight. We were out at ALDS Workout Day yesterday. Here's a clip.
All those guys are in a good place, and I throw Jay Happ in that mix too, who I feel like is throwing the ball as well as he has at any point in the season. So felt like it was a good decision, and then just trying to, hopefully maximize those guys as best we can.
I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. I'm really honored to get this opportunity, to pitch game one, and it's going to be great. Pitching here, it is different. It's not easy, and it took some work. But I feel like in the second half, I started to get my feet under me and kind of get a good mental process, kind of going into games, and started to feel a lot more comfortable here.
Aaron Judge showed up at his news conference wearing a T-shirt with a Major League Baseball logo, just not the logo that's been familiar for the past half century. On closer inspection, the silhouetted batter in white between fields of blue and red was not in a hitting position, but rather was holding the lumber vertically and smashing it into the top of the logo, creating a red spark. Any takers? Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner. He did that during dugout tantrums, hammering the ceiling and leading to ejections in July and August. Very cool tee. Catchers Gary Sanchez and Austin Romine and designated hitter Edwin Encarnacion also wore the shirts for the workout. New York's most famous T-shirt this year was Savages in the Box. Manager Aaron Boone's infamous comment on his batters during his July 18th ejection. While those garments were on sale at Yankee Stadium for $29.99, there was no immediate word on whether a Gardy Goes Batty merchandise line will be available. The shirt might not be available, and either will CC Sabathia for the division series. Sabathia has been left off the Yankees roster for the ALDS. Yankees manager Aaron Boone said that Sabathia's pitching shoulder did not bounce back well after his final appearance of the season on September 24th against the Tampa Rays. He received a cortisone shot last week and threw an inning in a simulated game on Tuesday, but he's simply not in game shape. The plan was to be for Sabathia to be an option out of the bullpen. If the Yankees advance to the ALCS, the team could reset the roster and place him in that role. If they don't, and barring any injuries that would require them to press Sabathia into service in the ALDS, Sabathia will have thrown his last pitch in the majors. He's retiring. Mickey Callaway has managed his last game as a New York Met. The Mets have fired Mickey on Thursday. Callaway led the Mets to an 86-76 record and third-place finish in the National League East this year after finishing 77-85 and in fourth place the year before. That improvement came along with some, at times, questionable in-game decisions. The walk-off by Dominic Smith in the finale and the home run rookie record by Pete Alonso in the final weekend of the season simply weren't enough to save Callaway's job. The Mets held a press conference via phone yesterday. Here's more.
I know the fans have really come out for us, and we're really great at the end of the season, rooting on Jake, rooting on Pete, and the rest of the players to get to where we got, 10 games over, which is very nice. But again, we're not playing October baseball, and that's what it's about.
Our focus will be pretty simply to continue to provide our players with the support they need to succeed at this level and to put them in the best position to win every game, every day.
Anyone seen Joe Girardi? Joe and former Yankee and Met star Carlos Beltran appear to headline the list to fill Mickey's vacated job. Perhaps Joe Madden could be an option as well. Meanwhile, Mets All-Star Jeff McNeil underwent surgery on Wednesday to repair his broken right wrist. McNeil sustained the injury when struck by a pitch from Miami Marlins left-hander Josh Smith on September 25th. The 27-year-old batted .318 with 23 homers and 75 RBIs in 133 games. His average was the fourth highest in the National League. Mets have a good team. That's a good job, Rhina. I think you should apply. You would do great. The Minnesota Vikings, like their baseball counterparts, have a pretty good team, too. It will be a clash of Minnesota's top 10 defense against New York rookie quarterback Daniel Jones, who has won his first two starts after replacing the veteran Eli Manning. Jones led the Giants to 32-31 and 24-3 victories over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Washington Redskins, respectively, to push New York to 2-2. Giants-Vikings Sunday at 1 from the Meadowlands. Jets will also be back in action after the bye. Sam Darnold will play Sunday if doctors clear him, the Jets starting quarterback said on Thursday. But he wants to make sure he doesn't die on the field because of an enlarged spleen. It seems like a reasonable request. No, Rhina? Yes. Darnold returned to the practice field this week for the first time since being diagnosed with mono ahead of the team's Week 2 game. Darnold has taken most of the first-team reps and is wearing extra padding to guard his spleen, with X-Tech providing him customized protection. Jets are at Philadelphia at 1 p.m. Sunday. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. Knicks held their media day earlier this week. David Fizdale plans to use Julius Randle all over the floor this season. The coach plans to use Randle at point forward, at times asking him to bring the ball up the floor when he gets a rebound. Randle was the Knicks' biggest free agent signing this summer, inking a 3-year, $63 million deal. He's expected to start at power forward alongside Mitchell Robinson at center. We won't even touch rookie R.J. Barrett saying he wants to posterize Kristaps. The reigning WNBA Most Valuable Player was diagnosed with a herniated disc after leaving early during a Game 2 loss to the Connecticut Sun on Tuesday that tied the best-of-5 series at 1 game apiece. Della Don, who scored a team-high 22 points in Game 1 to lead the way for the Washington Mystics, is having treatment, and an update on her status will be given on Saturday with Game 3 of the championship series scheduled for Sunday at Connecticut. In motor racing, Scott Dixon and Will Power both declared IndyCar's new aero screen ready to race during the first extensive test session for the cockpit protection that will debut next season. In the Octagon, Robert Whittaker returns for the first time in nearly 16 months Saturday. He faces interim champion Israel Adesanya in a title unification bout. The matchup serves as the main event of UFC 243. In boxing, Triple G will also be fighting Saturday night at the Garden. In hockey, the Rangers kick-started their season with a 6-4 win in the opener Thursday night. The Devils and the Islanders also get underway this weekend. And rounding up the sports roundup, the LA Dodgers took Game 1 of their National League Division Series showdown with the Washington Nationals after the Nationals rallied to defeat Milwaukee in the wild-card game. The St. Louis Cardinals drew first blood in their division series against Atlanta, coming from behind to take Game 1. Tampa Bay topped Oakland in the AL wildcard matchup. They face Houston in the other ALDS series that begins this afternoon. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for an ode to staying young, even when you're not. Can you imagine someone winning a championship at 70 years old? Well, how about John Force? Given how this season has gone, it's not too early to think we may be on the verge of witnessing history in the making. The legendary Force, a 16-time NHRA funny car champion, is knocking on the door of potentially earning a record 17th championship at the age of 70. Well, to be precise, Force will be 70 and a half years of age by the time the NHRA season concludes on November 17th in Pomona, California at Auto Club Raceway. If he does win the championship, Force would become the oldest champion in history, if not all professional sports. The previous oldest NHRA champ, John Force, at the age of 64 in 2013. Rhina, I hope I'm still driving 200 miles per hour when I'm 70. Go Yankees. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C. Stay tuned. More Open back after this.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Hello and welcome back. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. Our last guest is a musical artist who discovered his passion for music at the age of 9 by entering the choir of the Angelito College and then at the School of Fine Arts in Santiago, DR. And later on, he got into modeling and won the first edition of Mr. Dominican Republic, leading him to other opportunities that would assist in honing his craft, describing his music as sensitive art with a message of love to help awaken hidden feelings. Here to perform his single, Tú Eras Para Mí. Please welcome Aaron Jaquez.
Lentamente se me olvida tu mirada, ya tu aliento no se siente, ya no pienso que eres mala, desvanece los recuerdos, tu sonrisa, ya tu foto está marchita, ya no siento cuando piensas en mí. Yo pensé que siempre te iba a amar, que te iba yo a esperar, que tú eras para mí y yo era para ti. Y pensaba que no me iba a cansar, que iba yo a luchar, aunque me haga sufrir. Yo era para ti y tú eras para mí. No comprendo cómo puedo superar donde hubo tanta pasión. Yo creía que esto era especial y juraba que eras tú mi alma gemela, queda poco de la nada que hay en mí. Yo pensé que siempre te iba a amar, que te iba yo a esperar, que tú eras para mí y yo era para ti. Y pensaba que no me iba a cansar, que iba yo a luchar, aunque me haga sufrir. Yo era para ti y tú eras para mí. Y no es que yo quiero, es que ya no puedo. Me pasan los días y ya no te pienso. Historia perdida, amor de mi vida. Yo no te quería olvidar. Que siempre te iba a amar, que te iba yo a esperar, que tú eras para mí. Y pensaba que no me iba a cansar, que iba yo a luchar, aunque me haga sufrir. Yo era para ti y tú eras para mí. Yo era para ti y tú eras para mí. Yo era para ti y tú eras para mí. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, what a nice soothing song to end the show with. Ah, tú eras para mí. It sounds like a track that maybe should be on the film that we were talking about.
Oh, cool.
No, I'm just putting it out there. You know, we love when divine intervention happens here on our open set. But congratulations. I understand you got a video out on this, right? Okay, so let's talk about where your music and where people can find us.
Well, I'm on Instagram mostly. It's Aaron Jaquez Music, and I'm on YouTube, Aaron Jaquez Music as well. I'm releasing my new EP soon, so hopefully by January 6th, which is my birthday, I want to do like a big concert, like have a beautiful just party with romantic music. I feel like it's a little contrast of what's going on in the music industry right now, to bring in a little of the sensitivity that we're losing. So I'm going against like what everybody else is doing, but I feel like that's my calling, and I think it's all about following your passion.
So I was indecisive about referencing your name as Jaquez or Jaquez, right? Because it's a J, and it's a J in Spanish is Jota. But okay, it's Aaron Jaquez. I got that, and I love the fact that you've chosen to really just share your messaging through that sensitive voice that lies within men that isn't necessarily being exercised during this time.
Yeah, I feel like it's so important to just to like be yourself and just express, just to show different stereotypes of like, you know, men. Society is so like square, and we all like put into this box. So I feel like just being yourself, you can give so much hope and allow people to be who they are as well. So I feel like that's what I'm doing with my music, and it's so important for me to really share that specific message, that you can be soft, you can be sensitive, you can love, you can share that. So that's what it's all about.
I kind of got that in your video. What I love about your video, I'm plugging his video because you guys got to check it out, is I love the interracial mix within the couples, and just the whole message in it is really about love.
It is, and also that we all go through the same things. It doesn't matter whether whatever your sexual preference is, whatever your color, your race, how old, how young you are. We really all are looking for the same things, and I feel like social media has separated us so much because like people that have things and they have fame or more followers or more this or more that, it's all creating like a big separation. So I really wanted to show like there's famous people in my video that they wanted to give this message to, that they all go through the same things, you know, like just because the grass looks greener on the other side doesn't really mean that it's actually green. It's just it's fake, you know. We're showing the best of ourselves. So I think that was a way of me like just showing we're all like on the same path.
Right.
And we all
in the end,
going
we're all
through
the same.
thing.
Right.
Exactly.
We're all the same. In the end, we're all the same. We're all on the same, seeking the same thing, which is love. Right. And then there's that whole aspect of the grass looking greener on the other side, when in fact some of those people are suffering from mental illnesses. And the only thing that can heal everything is love.
Exactly.
So I'm so happy that you ended our show with love.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And where can people follow you? On Instagram?
So it's Aaron Jaquez, AARNJAQUEZ, music. And also, I'm on all the platforms the same name, Aaron Jaquez Music. You can say Jaquez in English, Jaquez in Spanish. It doesn't really matter. Aaron Jaquez Music.
I love it. Awesome. You guys, Aaron Jaquez Music can be found, like he said, on all musical platforms such as Apple Music and Spotify. And like he said, don't forget to follow him at Aaron Jaquez.
Oh
or
yeah,
Jaquez.
and let me just say for the women awareness of like violence, I have a song that's called Ni Una Más, which has a beautiful message. I filmed that in Dominican Republic, and my mom is the actress, and it also has a very impactful message. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go on and check that music video. You're gonna love it.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for bringing that into light as well. That's right, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But that is our show today, for today, mi gente. And we want to thank our guests, of course, for coming through, and to our viewers for tuning in. And if you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor, adios. And for those who have recently celebrated Rosh Hashanah, Shana Tova, and may you have a blessed Yom Kippur. Adios. Ciao.